So, it's time to delve into this, I guess. It's team preview number 11 for the Overwatch League 2021, and that brings us on to the Valiant. Oh lord, this is going to be fun. Very, very fun. So, the Immortals Valiant, as I now know them, the location doesn't really apply to them anymore, have, been the villains of the off-season, I suppose we can say. So, going back through the Valiant's history, they are actually not a bad team, or didn't used to be a bad team anyway. They finished second in the inaugural season, dropped all the way to 13th in the 2019 season, but in 2020 they clawed their way back up to the top 10, finishing 8th. And they didn't have a bad roster, actually, in 2020, but, well, they decided that they were going to change things, and we are where we are today. So, let's go over this this Immortals Valiant and see where we are, shall we? In early January, the Valiant were looking pretty darn good, actually. They were looking fairly on course with their roster. They had Shaq, Streamer, Lastro, Rain, Kai, previously known as KSP, Adam, and Agilities. They'd made their transfers. They'd brought in Adam and Agilities to add to their roster from last season, and they still had the same coaching staff. It was looking really cool. And then, at the end of January, Immortals decided they were going to axe everyone and ship the brand off to China. And that was met with some criticism, shall we say. So Agilities never got his chance to be back at the Valiant. Adam never got a chance to actually show his worth in the league. He never even got to play a single second of Overwatch because, well, he got beeped on by the Valiant. That's unacceptable from Immortals and the Valiant, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Kai, Rain, Lastro, Dreamer, and Shax were all released as well, just mere months before the season was going to start. Along with that, they also axed everyone else. So Mike Schwartz, their director of competitive esports, Packing 10, the head coach and general manager, Unta, the associate head coach, Gunba, the assistant coach, Sungwoo, the assistant coach, and Otiginal, the translator, were all sacked, pretty much. Unceremoniously. And, how do I even begin? Appalling. Like, this is the biggest travesty the Overwatch League has ever had in terms of a roster being destroyed. Yeah, we've had things like the Vancouver Titans and Runaway issue, but I think this is even worse than that. And Valiant have lost everything. Immortals have lost everything. They have lost all respect. Half the teams in the league won't scrim them because of the way they've acted. They've lost all of their fans, pretty much. They are a dead brand at this point for what they've done. But they are still a team in the Overwatch League, and therefore we will still cover them. So, with this, Immortals decided to move the operation of the Valiant team to China and compete in the East region for 2021. Oh boy. So, it will no longer be run by Immortals, it'll be run by Linjian Esports, who operated LG Huya back in the Chinese Contenders days when they were the academy team of the Chengdu Hunters. They are very well known in the China scene, especially Contenders-wise, but the roster is quite something. So, let's get into that very interesting roster, shall we? So, first of all, the staff, right? They have gone from having extensive coaching available to them to having a head coach and an assistant coach. That's it. The head coach is going to be JP Cat, who comes in from the one winner. Not too much of a bad pickup, but the thing is, the one winner were good a year ago. Not in 2020. 2020 was all about like Flag Gaming and Team CC. That one winner sort of dropped off slightly. Yeah. So, yeah. You're a year too late, Valiant. And then they're bringing in Heiko. He's now changed his name to DMO, who doesn't have any coaching experience. He was a player for Flag Gaming. That's the coaching staff of the Valiant. Not much more to say about that. Don't know how well that's gonna do. Anyway, roster. It doesn't get any better, does it? Okay, so supports. This is an all Chinese roster, obviously, for this really, this really good representation of Los Angeles, I guess. This is an all Chinese roster. The supports will be Weir and Hybe. Weir is known to the Overwatch League as part of the Guangzhou Charge last season. Did not too much because, you know, he wasn't the first choice at the Guangzhou Charge and ended up being inactive, going to Ignite 1, and then going to Ultra Prime Academy, and now he finds himself at the Immortals Valiant. Now, I'm not going to be too down on all these players because it's not their fault. You know, if they're given the opportunity to take $50,000 a year to play in the Overwatch League, you're going to take that over contenders most of the time. So we're not going to, you know, completely be down on these players, but it is more about what the Valiant have chosen to pick up here. So Hybe is a support, apparently, even though his history is that of an off-tank. Every team he's played at, as far as I can see, including the one winner, T1W GZA, T1W before that. T1W GZA was the academy team of the Guangzhou Charge back along. Every team he's played at, he was an off-tank. So, yeah, he's going to be the main support, I presume, unless they're going to run double flex support in the entire season. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't put it past the Immortals Valiant at this point. I do not know why there is an off-tank in the support slot. Considering the size of Chinese contenders, could you not find one singular main support? Valiant? At all? Anything? I have no idea how that's going to work, but it's going to happen, so that's a good start, I guess. Moving on, there's 3 tank players for the Valiant. The first of these tank players is going to be okay. This tank player plays a lot of DPS. Oh god, you can't make this up, can you? This tank player plays quite a considerable amount of DPS. They are a DPS tank flex player coming in from Flag Gaming. They're known for their Zarya, Echo, Sigma, Doomfist, and Genji. So yeah. Yeah. Yep. I don't know anymore, to be quite honest. This is just beyond scuffed at this point. So that's Shou Cheng we're talking about here, and I don't know how that's gonna work because there are the 2 tanks and main tanks. So first of all, we have NVM. NVM has been retired for 2 years. Nearly. Yes, 2 years. Actually. He's been retired for over 2 years. Oh, what am I reading? Okay. He retired from Linjian Esports back in 2018. Obviously, the org that is now running the Valiant have decided to bring him back. And then the other main tank is Silver 3. Silver 3 thankfully has been playing, so he comes in from the one winner. Oh. Why? What is going on? This tank line is made up of it doesn't have a proper off tank. The proper off tank they have is playing support. And one of the tanks they have has been retired for over 2 years. The other main tank is actually sensible. The off tank is an off tank DPS hybrid. And then the main support is the actual off tank. You should be playing an off tank. This team doesn't have a main support. Okay. Moving on. We'll come to the DPS. And, first DPS is Molanran. So, Molanran comes in from the one winner once again. Again, he has a good break, but we expect that from DPS players. He also has a good diva. This is going to be a flex DPS, I'd imagine, for the Hangzhou. I'm sorry, Hangzhou. That's sorry. Because we're going to talk about Crystal in a minute. Molanran has a good Pharah and good Sombra, but a lot of Chinese originated players have a decent Sombra because it's a region that plays a lot of Sombra. But apart from that, sorry, there's not much to write home about. And then we come on to the elephant in the room. This is Crystal. Crystal, oh lord, was at the Hangzhou Spark, then was made an active at the Hangzhou Spark when he decided to lie to the org and go and spend some time in China, doing stuff and not playing and not obeying his contract. Then went to Guangzhou Charged, was dropped from there, went to Ignite 1, didn't do much there, then went to Ultra Prime Academy, as Guangzhou Charged sort of just kept an eye on him to see if he was any good, and then didn't do anything there, and then got dropped from Ultra Prime Academy in October of 2020, and then the Valiant are like, yep, let's sign him. That's not going to end well. Also, Crystal is... I see a massive hole in the hit scan for the Valiant. Oh, Lord. So, to be honest, I think there's good flex DPS on this team. Decent flex DPS. Good's actually, yeah. Decent flex DPS on this team. And then, I mean, Crystal was good, but, like, he's incredibly unreliable, shall we say, and difficult to control. There's okay flex DPS on this team. I don't see great hit scan. I also don't see a single main support that has history, which is always going to fill everyone with confidence. They have an off-tank on main support. They have at least some tiny incy-wincy little bit of Overwatch League experience in Crystal and Weir on the flex support, so the flex support is half decent. Then we come to the tank situation where they've got two main tanks. One that I will assume will start because that'll be Silver 3, and then you've got NVM who's been retired for over 2 years, and then you've got Shou Cheng who is a DPS off-tank hybrid player that basically there's no out-and-out off-tank player on this team apart from the one that's playing main support. Yeah, I think that's the Valiant in a nutshell. I don't have words, if I'm honest. And the weird thing is, looking at the hero pools of these players, the best Echo player on this team is probably going to be playing off-tank. That fills you with uttermost confidence. You can see why the aim of the Valiant is even just to win a game at this point. This is the most shoddily, appallingly assembled roster I have ever seen in the Overwatch League. This beats even Season 1 Shanghai Dragons. This roster is appalling. Not because of the individual players, apart from Crystal. It's not the players' fault. It's the brain in which to put this roster together. It doesn't make any sense. Where's your out-and-out off-tank player? Why have you got an off-tank player on main support? Why have you not signed an out-and-out main support? Why have you signed a player that has been retired for over 2 years? Why? Like, I know this is Immortals Valiant. I know you don't have a rep at this point. Your rep is in tatters. But you can sign better than this. You can sign better players than this. There is no excuse. As I said at the start of this video, as I said before the roster, this is 50k a year. Players will play for you when they're getting paid that sort of money to play in the Overwatch League. So why have you assembled such a shoddily wrangled together roster? It's awful. This is a joke of a roster. It really, really is. And it puts Immortals, Valiant, it puts you to shame. Even more than you were already. This is just... I do not think we will ever see anything like this again. This is appalling. There's not much more to say about the Valiant. There really isn't. This team will almost certainly be 20th. If they're not 20th, something's gone very wrong somewhere with another team. This team is unlikely to win a match. If they were to go anything other than with 0 wins on the board, I think it would be an utter miracle looking at this roster. Yeah. This is weird. I have never gone over a team like this before that has been so appallingly put together and is run so appallingly by an organization that literally has no care for its fans or its ex-players or its representation, not only in the Overwatch League scene, not only in the Overwatch scene, but in the esports scene in general. What the Valiant did, what Immortals did, was not only frowned upon by the Overwatch League community, it was not only frowned upon by the Overwatch community, it was frowned upon by the entire esports community. That's the perspective we are working with here, and that is why this brand will never, ever recover until this team gets sold by Immortals. Simple as that. And at that point, I think if the team was sold by Immortals, I think they'd rebrand anyway. Because the brand is now toxic. A bit like Vancouver, but worse. There is not much more to say about the Valiant, and I don't know where they'll end up. Not as, like, placing, they will be bottom, without a doubt. But where they'll end up as a team. What will happen in 2022 with this team, I have no idea. I have no idea, honestly. I feel sorry for any ex-Valiant fans. I hope you found a new home with another team. And to be quite honest, that's best, I think. I don't think this team deserves support. I don't think it deserves skin sales. I don't think it deserves merch sales. Simple as that. Immortals should be made to suffer for what they've done. And I hope they realise that, to be honest, pardon my words, but shitting all over their ex-players and fans is not the way to go. And if anything, this should have an inquiry, but it won't do because the Overwatch League, the teams in the Overwatch League have way too much power. But that's a story for another video and another time. Things have been revealed in the Overwatch League. Both skins for the San Francisco Shock's championship win and the MVP skin for Fleta are now available in the Overwatch League store in the client in Overwatch. The Echo skin is really nice, so is the Hog skin for the San Francisco Shock. Please do get your Echo skin, because it is the last MVP skin that will ever be produced. Again, that is another sad day for the Overwatch League, and I think that might be a knock-on effect from a certain ex-San Francisco Shock player and what's happened there. Again, we're not going to get into that, but it's again another sad thing that's happened. And also, the Overwatch League has updated the way in which broadcasts will be worked, and that will be going out. I will be going over that in another video as well, because that is some big news coming your way in terms of drops. Next up, though, we are thankfully past the Los Angeles Valiant, and we can all take a breather from that. Next up, we have our 12th team. That'll be the New York Excelsior. That'll be much more exciting and a much more interesting look at a brand new looking New York Excelsior team that, well, we've never seen a completely new looking New York Excelsior team before, so that's going to be a super duper interesting one to take a look at. Please do join the Discord server if you want to discuss the Overwatch League and any other things related. And also, there's actually now links to every single Overwatch League community server in my server, as well as some Overwatch Contenders community servers as well. So if you want to check them out, they're also linked in there. All the socials are linked down below for Illusion Gaming and myself, Twitter, Twitch, etc. And yeah, give them all a follow, etc. And I will be extremely grateful. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.